Hi, I'm Andrew Martin. I'm the Group Publisher at Cybersecurity ASEAN, and today I'm going to be chatting with Jonathan Andresen from Incode Technologies. They're a company that have recently achieved unicorn status, and they're working and doing things in the area of authentication and verification. So it's an interesting area to be talking about. Jonathan, it's great to have you with us today. Looking forward to our chat. But before we really get into it, perhaps you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about the company, and also maybe why there is so much buzz around Incode Technologies right now.
Sure. Well, my name is Jonathan Andresen. I'm Senior Director here at Incode, and I have over 25 years experience globally and in Asia with IT and security companies. And at Incode, we believe in one identity everywhere. We're an identity verification company that is transforming the customer and user experience for large enterprises everywhere. And our mission is really to get away from, passwords, PIN codes, credentials, the way that we've typically accessed data for the last 20 years, and create one identity that we can use everywhere in an omni-channel fashion throughout our lives, whether it's at work or whether it's personal. And with that one identity everywhere, we can have a seamless, contactless, and frictionless experience as we consume more, digital services and products more efficiently and with a much better experience for everyone. Now, our company has just received a large amount of funding, Series B, for example. We've achieved unicorn status, and we have a very unique platform that we've created called Incode Omni that automates the complete end-to-end identity verification process at scale. And that allows companies to customize their identity to their business. And when they can do that at scale, they can truly transform their business and take full advantage of digital transformation in a whole new way.
Yeah, that actually really resonates with me. I mean, I've been in the IT space longer than I probably care to admit, and in the early days I probably only had one password to access one system, and that was it. And of course these days we carry so many passwords and pins, and I guess that's part of the problem that you're dealing with. But I wonder if we could go a bit deeper into that and try and understand what is causing all the attention in identity verification right now, and what are some of the dynamics that are getting people to be so interested in this part of the market.
So today, with digital transformation, we're quite a few years in, and definitely post-pandemic now, there really is a need to fast-track digital and remote access and onboarding to digital products and services. The problem is today, there's a gap. There's a gap between users and companies, between buyers and sellers, when they transact and interact online. And that's because there's a lack of trust. From a user perspective, we want privacy, we want to make sure our data is secure, we want a simple process that we can onboard and use quickly. We don't want friction, we want it to be fast. From a company and organization standpoint, we want compliance, security, scale, and we want things to work quickly so we can please our customers. But the problem is there's a gap between performance and security. I can have high performance, but low security, or very secure processes, but very slow. And so solving this gap is one of the biggest problems that's stopping the acceleration of digital and digital transformation to the next level. If we can create trust in the digital world in the same way that's in the physical world, we can really bridge that gap, and we can allow companies and organizations to use digital at a whole new level. They can personalize digital services, they can tailor them to their business, they can segment them across different types of customers, and ultimately, they can create a whole new level of business that's both a win-win for the customer and the user, but also fast tracks digital and business for enterprise.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying when you talk about that gap, and even bridging that gap for users must be really important, because these days users are expecting fantastic customer experience, but they don't want to compromise on security at all, and I guess that's what you're trying to solve. And perhaps with that in mind, I've read that Incode is reinventing the ways that humans verify and authenticate their identities. Now, that's a really big claim. So how are you going about doing that?
Exactly. So at Incode, we've created a whole new vision and technology around identity verification. First of all, we've taken humans out of the loop. First and second generation identity verification massively relies on humans to verify IDs, to look at your selfie and look at your ID and match that. But you can imagine if you're looking at thousands of IDs per day, you make errors. Humans make errors, and they find it difficult to be consistent at scale. And early on, a few years ago, when this technology first started, it was probably okay to test that and see that in a smaller format. But today, we really need this technology to scale across countries, users, and platforms. And so we fully automated identity verification with AI and machine learning. It's much more accurate, it's faster, it's better for the business, and the results are extremely surprising. So we've had a lot of traction with large enterprises simply because we're able to work with them with a complete platform that is more secure and faster to scale their identity technologies. The second thing is we have a new technology we've invented called passive liveness. That allows us to check if you're a live person with just one video frame. In less than 40 milliseconds, we can capture your picture and verify it's you. Most of the industry takes minutes to do this, and when you do onboarding, you have to take your phone and you kind of go like this, and it can take up to 5 or 6 or 7 minutes, and the process is slow. In today's world, we need things to work a lot faster, but also secure. And we've bridged that gap here at Incode so that we've solved that dichotomy between performance and security.
Yeah, based on what you're explaining, it does resonate a lot with me. I think the time for passwords or even gadgets that can encrypt or deliver passwords or PIN codes for you are probably going to fast move into the past, and being able to utilize features like our faces as ubiquitous logins makes a lot of sense. So maybe not surprising that there's so much buzz in terms of what you're doing right now. Moving along though, if we look at Southeast Asia and Asia in general, you're speaking about modernization, but in your view, how are those regions doing when it comes to the modernization of their digital identity verification?
So in Southeast Asia, we're quite a mobile connected community, and we're very good at adopting new technologies. But sometimes it's a bit challenging to be adopting the latest technologies. And there are quite a few companies here and organizations that are looking to use biometrics, facial recognition, and new types of identity security to leverage and secure their business. The challenge we have is that it's easy when you see attacks and cybercrime issues like we saw in Australia last week, where there was over 10 million user IDs compromised. There's a tendency to go back to what we know, and going back and doubling down on the frameworks and the architectures that we know. And I think the opportunity for Southeast Asia is to leverage new technologies like identity verification that completely change the architecture in a better way for today's needs. So getting away from PIN codes and passwords, clunky humans doing ID verification, and really leveraging the latest AI and machine learning technologies, because we really are already in a mobile first and cloud first world. And how do we take it to the next level? Today's 2022. If you want to plan for your customer experience, you need to start planning to 2024, 2025. And users today really are, especially in Southeast Asia, they're less forgiving when it comes to friction and performance. And so it's very important, I think, across all verticals, whether it's banking, hospitality, healthcare, government, fintech, that we have platforms that really leverage your brand. Identity today is the first touch and the portal with which users and customers experience your brand and service. If the identity process and the verification process doesn't work, it reflects on the whole performance of your service and your products. And so the opportunity in Southeast Asia is significant. We've had lots of discussions and business traction in Southeast Asia, and just launched a whole new business framework with a partner called Totem in Indonesia, where there's massive opportunity there to deploy this technology to improve customer experiences and increase security.
Yeah, that angle about that first touch point for a company is not something I thought about before, and it kind of shows how even security and how you manage security is actually part of that customer experience journey, which is probably something that is going to be new, not just for companies in Southeast Asia, but all over the world. Coming on to your solution specifically, is it only really for large enterprises, or are there other kinds of companies that could benefit from what you do?
Mm-hmm. So this technology is very important to large enterprises that need to scale their identity solutions. And it's applicable actually across all types of industries and all types of sizes of companies, even government. And you can think of even when you go through border control now, when you check into an airline at an airport, when you book a hotel, when you start up a bank account, all this is done online. It's done on a mobile or web app. And the experience with which you can validate you are who you say you are so that that transaction can happen is very important. And with compliance today, it's getting even more onerous. So the need for this technology is quite pervasive. The large companies is where we see a strong fit because we do scale really well across countries and platforms. And even the way we do the architecture, where we do the liveness check and the technology is based on the edge on your actual device, where you don't even need internet connection, or it doesn't matter what type of device you're using, makes it really applicable across geographies and across communities. But large enterprise is very important. Our particular focus right now, where we're having a lot of traction, is in the regulated space. So fintech and banks, healthcare, government, but even retail and other industries are very much looking at this. We have one flagship customer in Southeast Asia and in the Middle East that has very high-end brands for hotels. And they're looking to completely transform how they engage the guest journey, from the moment you check into book your hotel online, to going through the hotel lobby and checking in, to using services throughout your stay at the hotel, to making it completely contactless, avoiding keys, avoiding PIN codes and passwords, getting away from documents, and making it really about the experience. And so this technology is quite transformative. It allows companies to be creative in how they think about going to market for their customers. And today, the cost of doing it in a way that's not scalable or doesn't work correctly can really impact business. And so looking at the right platform really is the key.
Yeah, I'm starting to see the theme emerge through the conversation we've had today, that the kind of joining of experience and security really is key to what you're offering. And it seems to me that as organizations understand what you do more, it will actually feature into then how they develop their services going forward, which is probably a new direction for a security company, certainly compared to others we've spoken to before, and perhaps backs up your claim about transforming this part of the industry. So Jonathan, I've enjoyed our chat today, but before we close off the interview, is there anything else you'd like to let us know before we finish?
Sure. Well, identity verification and identity in general should be a key part of your digital strategy. And in today's world, where we are with digital transformation, we're at the point now where if you get the identity strategy correct and aligned to your business, it's really a platform for growth. It allows you to improve the services you have, improve the stickiness with customers, increase onboarding rates and lower the abandonment rates of new customers. It allows you to upsell new products and services, and ultimately leads to a more successful business. And so thinking about identity first and how identity can be brought into your strategies for IT, I think is a very important takeaway from this discussion. And I hope we can talk to you further about that here at Incode.
Thanks again, Jonathan. It's been a really interesting chat, and definitely has opened my eyes to how things are going to change as technology like yours really does transform the way we handle digital identities. I hope you've enjoyed the chat that I've had with Jonathan. I think that everything he said made a lot of sense, and digital identity and verification of those identities is something that's going to get increasingly more important. And it's not just actually about the experience, as Jonathan was saying, but people need to have confidence that when they do, or when you do take their digital identity, that it's going to be secure and it's not going to be breached like some of the things and some of the news events we've seen in recent times. And it does seem, from what Jonathan was saying, that they really are addressing that need. So if you want to find out more about Incode, please come and check us out on cybersecurityasian.com, where we have lots more information. Thanks very much.